Girls of Reddit, what's the female equivalent of trying to hide a boner? Back in the days of bulky menstrual pads, it was horrible when you didn't anchor it down quite right and suddenly you had a pad wedgie. Front or back, both were a proper chore to adjust in the wild. As a breastfeeding mother, when my husband gets me excited my boobs leak. Getting your period when you're not expecting or springing a leak. No one wants that stain on the back of their pants for everyone to see. Having to wear an audible feminine hygiene product. Some honestly sound like you're wearing a plastic bag in your underwear, but if you get caught out, sometimes you're reduced to wearing one. You spend the rest of the day trying to move as carefully as possible so not to make too much noise. One that I found out recently, when you're breastfeeding, you go out for whatever reason, and then you leak through your bra and through your shirt and you just have giant wet patches on your chest. It's horrifying. You know when your boyfriend keeps taking his penis all the way out of you and putting it back in and shoving a whole bunch of air inside of you. And then you try to avoid queefing, but you really can't because queefs don't work that way. Getting underwear stuck up your crack or vag and having to do a sort of wiggle to get it loose. Trying to hide erect nipples. It's not necessarily cold outside or in a situation where I'm turned on, they just do it. Also, sometimes you just get really wet down there. Fabrics that show up sweat patches also show up other wet patches. They are also in the places you can't always see. Putting a jacket around your waist at school because you're self-conscious that there is blood on your pants during the time of the month. I don't know if everyone experiences this or not, but every so often I get this intense tingle/itch sent to my clit, and when it happens in public it is excruciating not to be able to adjust it or make it go away. Normally only lasts at a minute, but oh my god. Trying to fix a pad that's shifted and gone up your ass a bit, or really awkward shift of a pad and the sticky bit catches some pubes. Trying not to sound crunchy when wearing a pad. Wearing a baggy hoodie to hide you aren't wearing a bra/bra doesn't support enough. Hiding a period stain or hiding the pain on her face from period cramp when are in public. Crossing your legs very tightly. The awkward moment when you're talking to someone and feel your period start or just random sudden flow during. Bonus, one time while I was talking to my boss, the front clip on my cheap bra actually just randomly snapped. Feeling an alarming dampness in your underwear during your period and realizing that you've probably completely filled your pad, followed by the fear of your pants being stained. Definitely agree with the period stain, but I'm here for some advice. I work with kids with severe special needs, and so I'm very familiar with unwanted boners. We obviously recognize that it's a natural occurrence, but also not something we want our students to be laughed at for, or occasionally they will try to start other actions to fix it. Our solution is to have the kids wash their hands with cold water up to the elbow. It makes it disappear right away 90% of the time. Trying to adjust the underwire in your bra subtly without looking like you're fondling yourself. How about the condensation on a chair after standing up? That strip of moisture that has accumulated due to the moist environment between your legs. I know it's from that and is normal, but it always trips me up. I just don't like it, lol. Also, do guys do this? Edit. Wow. Thank you fellow redditors for the awards. I was unaware so many people had the same issue and that so many people struggled with this alongside me. Y'all are the bee's knees. Thank you again. Trying to extract a hair from between your boobs when you don't actually know where it is will probably be the equivalent to adjusting your dick, I guess. The real answer to this question is realizing out of the blue that you might leave a blood stain on whatever surface you're sitting on and shifting around uncomfortably to prevent direct contact. The fear of damaging another person's property is considerably more potent than shame. Hiding normal discharge wet spots. I don't know if it's just me, but mid-cycle I cannot keep my underwear dry to save my life. Add yoga pants to the mix and voila, looks like you pissed yourself a little. I think for me, it's breathing heavy lol. When I get turned on I have to try really hard to keep my breath calm. I swear I have like an aroused energy that radiates too, and that just makes it worse. My girlfriend answered this. Your cooch starts pulsing like a heartbeat and is very distracting. When you are on your period and feel a giant blob of dark blood egress and you hope it absorbed into the pad and not stain your clothes. Camel toe. Literally the bane of my entire existence. I'm always pulling down the crotch of my pants because I think it's showing. Knowing your nipples are poking out so you hunch or cross your arms. Period time. When pants are too tight and your muffin shows. When you are wearing a sports bra and your nipples go total freeze. Wearing a bra that's thinner than you thought and having your nipples stick out. I've held a book or a file up to my chest like a nan in school girl clutching a love note. Sometimes my nipples decide they'd like to let the world know they exist, and I just can't hide them. They'll be noticeable through padded bras and pullovers. No, I have small nipples, and no effing clue why they do this. It's not related to my cycle, nor to temperature. They just have bold days. When it's 2 AM or you're in a public bathroom and you're trying to soundlessly open a pad. Trying to sneak a pad or tampon into the restroom without people noticing, especially if it is in your locker or bag. I answered a question exactly like this on this sub before, but the answer remains the same. Period blood smell, which is like sweet, rotten meat or fish, before anyone asks. Period blood stains, which are inevitable for me because of my heavy flow. Edit, have gotten thousands of go see a doctor comments. I have. Drive said it was fine. Unless you are a gynecologist, have seen a gynecologist for the same issue, or know a gynecologist, do not worry. If you are /no/have seen a gynecologist, please let me know if you think there is a problem. Otherwise, no need to comment. Hiding hard nipples. When it's cold outside. When you have a thin bra or bralette. When something comes out of your magic conch, and it might be blood or discharge and no one can see it, but you know something's there. What op wanted? Girls saying how they hide their horniness. What op got? Vivid descriptions of period blood and smell. Well, as a very fair-skinned person, I blush very easily, and there's nothing like a super hot guy to make it happen uncontrollably. I also get bullet hard nips for hormonal reasons, rather than just the cold, and it can be very hard to hide at times. For the super not sexy TMI answer to this post, let's talk crotch leakage. So long story short, I and many other women go through phases of urinary incontinence. It can happen after giving birth. It can be connected to IBS/food sensitivities, old age, loss of muscle tone, weight gain, or anxiety. Mine is for the latter two. So there are phases I go through where, no matter how often I shower and put on fresh clothes, I will have horrible swamp crotch within hours. Cotton underwear, breathable clothes, I've tried it all. It makes little difference. The only semi-solution is to constantly wear a pad to absorb the mix of sweat and uncontrollable urine leaks. It's never a gush of pee like when you actually pee, but a few small dribbles that amount to enough wet to soak your underclothes and eventually seep to outer layers. So apart from the smell, which often wafts up to my nose, I have to be concerned about a visible wet spot on my crotch/whatever I sit on. Whenever I get up from a plastic chair, I scoot my butt across it sideways to wipe away any incriminating leaks that would otherwise show up on the chair. Vaginas are great fun. Leaving a wet patch on your seat. Usually because I get very wet, but occasionally I just sweat. The rest of my body will be fine, but my thighs get very hot, and being a thick woman, my thighs rubbing against each other create even more heat equals sweat. Trying to act normal after your pant is suddenly gotten a little bit wet after a sneeze. I feel weird saying this, but my female equivalent of trying to hide a boner would be trying to hide the smell of my lady garden. It doesn't smell bad or anything, but it often gets super moist throughout the day and can even dampen my jeans, so I can often smell it myself. So sometimes the best option at work is just to keep my legs crossed as much as possible out of fear of my coworker smelling if they sit next to me to chat. Don't blush. Don't blush. Don't blush. Trying not to laugh at everything because you find them attractive. Well, there was the time my tampon fell out in class, and it was a huge school and they were keeping the bathrooms closest to the classrooms locked because heaven forbid some kid might be marky NGONXQSETOGETOUTOF class. And I had to walk all the way across the school courtyard and through the halls to find another bathroom, and it was right after the bell to leave class, so there was no hiding. Trying to speak normally, I lose all train of thought and can't keep up conversation about anything else than sex when I'm turned on because it's so prevalent in my mind. I often end up just looking away and staying quiet. Not necessarily trying to hide, but more like trying to be discreet. If you ever see two girls walking together and suddenly one stays behind for a few seconds, then catches up to her friend, it's most likely because she, the friend, asked her to check if she stained her pants/shorts/whatever.